success. And if we all put in questions together, we all will be successful. So I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions and keep you guys moving. All right, here we go. I do trust my students with me because if I don't trust you, you'll never drive with me. You earn my trust every single day, just like your parents trust you. You lose my trust when you don't come on time. You lose my trust when you don't listen and you make a fatal mistake. A fatal mistake could be running a light. A fatal mistake could be not looking left or right and you make a right turn when it's a right turn on red and you don't look. A fatal mistake could be going too fast in the subdivision. Trust is earned, not given. How do you control your car while spinning on black ice? You drive slower. It may seem really simple, but I'm dealing with students who are at zero. And you don't have knowledge yet. You will learn every single day. You're here in driver's education. You're here to be educated. This is 2025. So we have to think of what's going to happen this year, what's going to happen next year. I'm thinking 5 years ahead to 2030. So we're going to have more electric cars, right? I was watching something tonight that more charges will be put in. We're going to have more self-driving cars. We're going to have more of you who are driving maybe without real world experience because you're going to put your car on autopilot. Your brothers and sisters who are 5 years older, 10 years, they're going to learn how to drive better than you because they didn't have the opportunity to have self-driving cars. Driver's ed companies are going to have to update their curriculum, right? I chose online because post-COVID, this is my opportunity. I could be in person with you guys. It could be 36 of you, but I made a choice. You made a choice to come to online class, but some of you think, oh, it's online. I don't have to do a lot of work. A lot of you are wrong. It's going to be so much work. You're going to cry because it's work. You can go to college. You can take high school classes. You could do your job online. So online is the future. And you guys know this because of COVID. When you guys were in elementary school, right? When your teachers were teaching lessons, you were in 5th grade or 4th grade. So it's not that far. I'm talking to 16-year-olds. So 15-year-olds. Some of you are 17. So most of you have experience with online classes, AI, right? That's going to be really big. And your teachers who are really innovative, they're using AI already. Your high school teachers, some of your districts want you to use AI. Some of them are scared. A lot of you use AI to write papers. I'm not saying cheat, but it is the future. Gaming, technology, driving games. So reduce your speed on black ice. Don't be in a hurry. The biggest thing is just taking your time in the morning. But a lot of you are in a hurry to get out there. It's going to take 10 years for all of you to learn how to drive. If you're 16, 26. If you're 17, 27. If you're 14, 9. 24/9. So you guys have 10 years to learn. And if you learn the wrong way, going too fast, road raging, cutting off cars, being aggressive, you're probably going to smash your car. You're going to get a lot of tickets. So time is the biggest factor. So if I could monitor you the next 10 years, some of you will have accidents because statistics. Some of you will get in trouble with the law. I used to be a probation officer. Statistics. Some of you won't graduate from high school. You're going to get kicked out and go to another school. Or some of you will get scholarships, but you'll get in trouble in college. So it really depends on you because all of you are human, okay? So driving is just the first step. Some of you will get a job. Some of you won't because you're going to be lazy. If you want a really nice car, nice things, you got to work, right? So this is just a stepping stone to maturity. What should be What should be the process? We already talked about ice, Dominic. You got to come with another question. Okay, lift your foot off the gas. Look ahead where you want to go. So, Dominic, come with a better question. You'll benefit more. If you have an instructor who wants to give you good information and give you situations, take advantage of this. Okay. And I think those students who really dig deep, you're going to learn a lot more. Those students who put 2 or 3 words in, so I get a chance to see it every day. Some of you are really into driving and you want to learn. Some of you don't care. Just like some of you here doing a makeup class for whatever reason. You skipped a class, you had piano lesson, you had basketball, football. You don't have to tell me your reason why, but the reasons why you're here for this makeup class. And it is what it is. How do you park? How do you park gauges? How do park gauges work? I'm confused by this question. I'm gonna ask. Let me look at it again. How do park gauges work, and how do you park safely? Okay, park gauges. So I'm assuming
garages.
Okay. Type those sentences correct, people. Please and thank you. Okay, so all our cars today have sensors. They have sensors in the bumpers, the front bumpers, the rear bumpers. Some are radar, some are laser. When you pull into a park spot, you'll have a sensor that will go or a chime or a beep. Every manufacturer has something different. This will help you judge space, but the best distance is to look over your shoulder. For some of you, you're going to hit the garage. You're going to back into your neighbor's car because you don't know how to park, because maybe your parents don't fully trust you, or you don't trust yourself. So you have to learn how to park in front of your house, backing up in the driveway. Example, my son always backs in. I back in. My daughter pulls in. My wife pulls in. It's just a preference. It's just a style. So in the morning, he can just start his car. He's out. Backing is a very dangerous maneuver. And if you don't really learn how to park and back up, you're going to struggle all your life. From parallel parking, angle parking, and stall parking, right? Get them edges right. Come on, get them edges right. Get them edges right. So it's really important that you, it's really important that you all take your parking serious, because most states have parking requirements before you get your license. And some of you will fail because you don't practice. Some of you will pass. Some of you will not do anything and you'll be 18, 19, 20, 25. So it really depends on you. You might be involved in an accident and say, I don't want to drive anymore. And your parents are like, it's okay, honey. We'll take you everywhere. So it really depends. New drivers, they don't want to learn how to drive. I'll just put it out there. You don't want to learn how to drive. You don't want to become uncomfortable. You don't want to go to a downtown area, deep driving. You don't want to drive in rush hour driving in the morning. You don't want to drive in rush hour driving 4:30 to 7:30. You don't want to drive at night because it's very hard. You don't want to drive in the rain because you can't see. You don't want to drive in the fog or snow. You don't want to do a deep 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour. Anyone can drive 10 minutes. Anyone can drive about an hour. But after about an hour, you start to get tired, you lose focus. The mistakes are concentration. The mistakes are speeding 75, 85, 95. The mistakes are learning how to be too aggressive because you see mom and dad cutting people off, giving them the middle finger, tailgating. And if you see your sister do this, your brother do this, your mom do this, you think it's okay, but it's not okay, because you will be seeing people who will drive at the speed limit, who will use a blinker, who will drive a little slower than the speed limit. And then you're going to have to make sure, that you are following this. So you're going to get a conflicted message. And because people are getting older, across America, you're going to have more 40-year-olds driving, more 50-year-olds driving, more 60, 70, 80. So you're going to have more people who are older than you, who are over 21, and they're going to drive slower than you. So you're going to get upset, you're going to get irritated, and they don't care. So you're going to either have to learn to drive with the general public, or you're going to get very irritated. And because you're young, you want everything now. You want to be 21 now. Hey, I want to be able to go out and drink. I want to be able to move out. But you don't have a credit card. You don't have a job. You don't like your parents' rules and you want to move out, but you haven't done school yet. You don't have skills. So some of you will have problems following rules. And those of you who have problems following rules, you're going to get tickets. Your parents' insurance is going to go up because you can't afford insurance. Because the biggest thing is a job. And driving is the first step toward adulthood. Driving doesn't make you an adult, but it gives you the foundation to come to work on time. That's like some of you are always late to first hour. How do I know? Because I'm an educator. And this is why some of your schools have strict rules and you'll lose credit. So some of you won't graduate on time. And because you're in high school, there are guidelines there. And if you don't meet those guidelines, you won't graduate on time. You'll have to graduate in the spring or the summer or the fall. Or if you show up late to work, you'll get fired. And you'll blame whatever reasons. So mistakes are just maturity, immaturity, lack of responsibility, because if you follow those things, life is good for you. How often will you see roundabouts? You're going to see them a lot more in the city. I would say on average, one in every 10 intersections. That's a very good question. We see a lot more roundabouts. As 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we didn't. Roundabouts are more effective in pushing traffic through, less accidents, less pollution. But as a result, a lot of drivers don't know what to do. You're young drivers. You have zero experience. It's going to take you 10 years. There are drivers who are 20. They haven't seen many roundabouts. There are drivers who are 60, 70, 80, 90. They're going to pause, stop, and they're like, Grandma, go all the way through. Why are you stopping? Or Grandpa, go. It's because they're not sure. So I think you're going to see more education for older drivers, younger drivers. Thank you, my brother from Chile. God bless. I think you're going to see more education for drivers across the board. I think you're going to see drivers that change and update. Every state's different. Every province is different. Every government is different. I like to see more rules put in for you guys because I've been doing driver's ed for 24 years, and it's basically the same thing, but things are changing very drastically. So more roundabouts are very common. And with eminent domain, if you know what eminent domain is, type yes into the chat. You shouldn't have to look it up. If you know what eminent domain is, type in yes in the chat right now. And if you don't, that's okay. Eminent domain. Eminent domain is where the government's going to come in and take land for the benefit of the community. So there's certain intersections where there are a bunch of abandoned homes or they're kind of in a rural area. The government can just come in and take it. So they're going to offer you fair market share. So the populations are growing. Some areas of the country, they're shrinking. Some areas, they're getting bigger. So it really depends. Like there is going to be a project for the next 2 years in our area. Okay. But you guys won't go on that deep drive going to Canada, going out of the state. You're just going to stay school, home to grandma's, short, quick drives until your parents trust you and they have to make time for you to drive. And if your parents don't invest time in you, you're going to really struggle to feel comfortable. And I see that in segment 2. You have to have 30 hours in 3 months, 3 calendar months. So I should see you, okay, it's the 15th. February, March, April. Somewhere around April, I should see you guys in 3 months, but I won't because some of you won't want to drive. You get in a fight with your parents. So a lot of you want to drive, but you realize mom and dad don't have time. They're too busy. You get an attitude. Your grades suck. Your manners suck. So they're going to say, we don't care. Once you stack your grades up and once you show us respect. So some of you I might see you next year. I might see you in the summer. Okay? I might say, hey, Lucas, man, I thought you were going to, yeah, I had some problems with my stepdad. My mom gave him full control. And, I didn't like my stepdad. It happens. So you have to learn to get along with all people. And some of you don't want to do that because you think the world revolves around you. A lot of beginning drivers lose focus. And driving takes concentration. And it takes focus, like a math problem. I talked to our math teacher today, like geometry. You got to do step by step by step. Some of you will miss steps, and then that could cost you your life, rear-ending a car. What is the biggest difference between one lane, a different lane? Can you give me a better question in one lane and 2-lane roundabouts, please? Okay, it's just more cars, and you're going to see bigger roundabouts because it pushes more traffic through. So it's just a different lane. So give me a better question than that. Real talk. I want to challenge you to give me some good questions. You're going to see more roundabouts. It's going to be more traffic. Occasionally cars do crash in roundabouts, but it's less than traditional intersections. Beginning drivers panic making left turns because they're very dangerous. In terms of a disability, I've driven students with one eye. It takes you more time to process. And let's talk about disabilities for a second. That's okay. All of us don't always have one eye or one hand or one foot. As long as you have doctor's clearance and you have confidence, you can drive. If you don't have confidence, then you'll say, I can't drive. I don't want to drive. And then your parents can say, you have to learn how to drive. We won't be here forever. You're going to college. You have to get a job. So we're going to enroll you in a special program, and they're going to teach you how to drive. So I'm hearing more challenges, but look at it as an opportunity. So you just have to work harder. You just have to focus more. What's the biggest difference between a stick shift and normal drive? The difference, a manual, you have to push in a clutch. Here in America, about 85% of our cars are automatic. The other 15% are manuals. Manuals take a little bit more work. They're more exciting to drive. They suck in heavy traffic because you have to stop, push in the clutch. When you're going uphill, it takes a little bit more gasoline to make the car move. And once you learn that clutch, gasoline, stick, up, it's an H pattern, up is 1, down is 2. Up is, once you learn that, it's pretty fun. But a lot of you won't learn how to drive manuals because a lot of our cars and trucks here in the United States are automatic. So if you have a chance to learn, fine. Once you learn it, it's a good skill to have. There's still cars and trucks that are manuals, and it's pretty fun. And some cars and trucks, you can skip a gear. You can go from second to fourth. It depends on, some cars are 6-speed, some cars are 7-speed, some cars are 5-speed. So learn, it's fun. But a lot of you will have more difficult time parking and turning and accelerating because it takes a little bit more practice. I've driven manuals before. They are fun. I did struggle in the beginning. I drove a Volkswagen with the member of the YMCA. He let me drive it. I picked up my cousin. I struggled, but I learned how to drive. I kept stalling the car out at the light. It was the Volkswagen Beetle, orange. I'm surprised I didn't burn out the clutch, but I learned. You have to check over your shoulder. If you don't, you're going to cut off a car. A lot of beginning drivers don't check over their shoulder. They think, I can just look in my mirror. No, you got to turn your shoulder. And you end up cutting off a car and getting hit. And then you get charged You fail, you cry, your parents come, the driving companies come. Um, we try to avoid those situations. Most students do okay. And I think just being understanding and trusting. A lot of adults don't want to do driver's ed because they don't like kids because you don't listen and you make them nervous. So I always tell the truth on that, and I think it's important. How often do you see posted speed limits? Usually every quarter of a mile. That depends on the state. There's probably a national standard because we're here in the United States, and some of our highways are national highways. Some of our highways are community or local highways. So, national 75 that takes you all the way down to Florida. That's the national highway. So there's probably a distance that they have these signs located. But once you start learning and getting that deep drive, you're going to say, okay, it's not too bad. Okay, Riley, how many hours do you have driving?
0.
Okay, so you haven't started any driving yet. What's going on with your situation?
Oh, yeah, I've drove, I've done my drives, but I
Okay,
don't have my permit yet.
okay. How many hours do you need before you can get that permit processed?
I just have to finish this class.
Okay, and now, are your parents excited? Are they nervous? We're just talking a couple minutes. I'm gonna ask each of you some questions. What do you think in this process? Are you the first sibling through? Are you the second? Are you the third? Kind of give us some backstory on that.
They're excited. I'm the first.
Okay, so you're gonna get a car soon. If you have good grades, if you work hard in school, if you're polite, but it's no promise. Some parents may say, you know what, you're gonna get a job. We'll help you if you pay for every other car note. Um, so it's a good situation. You just have to keep working, and if you can continue on this path, usually it does work out. Okay, Chloe, question for me.
Question for you. Um, what do you like driving better? Stick or automatic, I guess.
For if I was racing, probably a manual on a road course at a drag strip, probably automatic. Manuals tend to break things, blow out the rear end, blow out the transmission. I had several cars, uh, late 20s. Um, I was very abusive on the clutch. I broke the transmission like 2 or 3 times. I missed third gear quite a bit. Um, and then I took the car out to the racetrack, and that's where you're really going to learn how to drive. You sign a waiver. If you crash, it's your fault. You can't sue anyone. But if you really want to learn how to drive, take a professional driving course. Learn from professionals. There's some schools that offer that. There are manufacturers that still offer that. Um, I think automatics tend to be a lot easier. You just put in drive and it'll shift down for you, it'll shift up for you. Um, Automatics are more computer controlled, so they know what gear you need to be in based on how fast you're going. Um, there are a lot of electric vehicles out now, they just have one gear, and then it's direct drive. So I think you're going to see more cars having, like for instance, the Ford's F-150s. They have a 10-speed transmission. That's more effective. A lot of the Dodge, I had a 2014 SRT, 8-speed transmission. We could put it in snow mode. It would start out in 2 or 3. So some of your parents have Fords. Some of your parents have Dodges. It just depends on what brand your parents have. Some of your parents are like, you're going to learn on the manual. We got the car in the garage. Your uncle's going to take you out, and once you learn, it's going to be your car. So some of your parents have those plans for you. Some of those parents are like, we don't know what you're going to do. Okay, good question. Jules, question. Keep it simple.
Me?
Yeah, Jules, come on.
Um, how do you like keep control of like your car, like and not like slip when it's like snowy and stuff?
You will learn. That's Jillian and Jules. So Jillian, right? Let me go with Jillian first. Jillian, it's going to take time for you to get out on the road. If you were my daughter, I'd say, come on, we're going out to the parking lot, put the car in drive, spin around a couple times, hit those brakes. You have to know what your car or truck will do. Okay, if you don't know how your car and truck is going to skid or going to stop or going to turn, you're going to panic. We are in a cold weather region. We're in the Midwest. So we're going to look, it was 13 degrees today. With the wind chilled, it's down to 0. You have black ice as soon as you step out on the porch. You could fall down and do a face plant on your porch, right? So you have to know how to deal with snow and ice. And I think because we are in the Midwest, you've seen your mom and dad kind of skid out a little bit, or the ABS panics and pushes to brake. So I think just getting out, learning how to handle your car, not being too aggressive on the gas, too aggressive on the brake, and then having a really good driving instructor. If your driving instructor, he or she, doesn't really drive you a lot, kind of keeps you in neighborhoods, keeps you in small areas, you're not really going to learn. I like to get students in the parking lots, in the neighborhoods, get them on the roads, make a lot of right turns, left turns, lane changing, 3-point turnarounds, downtown driving, mid driving, a little deep driving, get you in traffic. It's really about good scheduling. And if your teacher does this, you're really going to learn how to drive. If your teacher just takes you in straight lines and circles, you're not really going to learn. And I think the younger drivers and instructors, less than 10 years, the 7 to 14 year, the 14 to 24 year, they know what courses to take you on. You're going to go in this neighborhood. It's very busy. You're going to make 12 right turns, 12 left turns. We're going to go in the parking lot by a mall. You're going to park in 10 different spots. You're going to go in the outer ring of the mall. You're going to go in the community college ring. We're going to get you on the major thoroughfare. You're going to drive at 50 miles an hour. So they know what to do, and you will learn more. Okay, Jules V. Question.
So my question was, you said it takes like 10 years to master driving.
A
But is it,
master.
like,
Go ahead.
does that like vary from person to person at all?
It always varies. Some of you will pick up things in 3 years. Look, you can't learn everything in 1 year. You can't go from your house in the suburbs to downtown every single day. You don't know how to read a map yet. You don't know how to read road signs yet. You can't go from a suburban home to Chicago yet. You will. Some of your parents, we got our house in Chicago. As soon as you get your license, we're going to give you the key. Let's pretend, here's the key. Drive to Texas right now. You're like, drive to Nebraska right now. Drive to Toronto right now. And you're like, what? Yeah, so your parents will get you out, and some of you will do a lot of highway driving, but you won't do a lot of deep city driving. Some of you would do deep city driving, but you don't go on the highway much. Your parents really have to make an effort, because you can't drive with someone under 21. You got to have someone 21 or older. So your coach is so important. If you have a really good coach, you're really going to be prepared. If you have a coach that sucks, they sleep all the time, they're on the phone. Let's pretend my protein bar is my phone. Hey, you're doing a really good job driving. Hey, go ahead and go downtown. I'll tell you where to go. If someone is always telling where to go, but you don't understand where to go, you're going to be lost. Hey, I'm lost. Take the next street. So you have to get lost to learn how to find the route. You will get lost. Some of you will only rely on your GPS on your phone. But what if your phone stops? I don't know. So, but I understand things change. A lot of you don't use paper maps anymore. Paper maps aren't really around. So you're going to be using a mixture of your GPS on your phone, the GPS in your car, but also, guys, your parents are going to be stalking you, Life 360. They're going to monitor how fast you drive in the car. So it's a mixture of wanting to get out to drive more, but 10 years, like if you want to be a master pianist, playing the piano, 10 years. If you want to be a master at playing video games, you guys are 16, 15, 14. If you want to be a master at mathematics, so 10 years is that mark where you don't have, this is why your insurance goes down around 24, 25 as a young driver. The insurance industry knows you all have accidents. So they're going to charge your parents a very high rate because you're a risky driver. So if you look at statistical information, 10 years. So there's statistical information. I thought this question was on point. On point. Lucas, question.
I asked, how often do you find dangerous drivers on the road, or like drivers that are like totally like distracted?
Every day. Every day. You guys will be distracted getting out on the road. Why? Your mom's going to be, honey, make a left turn. Your dad says, no, I need you to stop. You're about to run the light. And then your phone rings. So all of us will be distracted because there's more technology in the cars. There's a GPS telling you, hey, here's your destination. Hey, your car's low on gas or low on charge. So all of you will have more distractions. So everyone is distracted. But the best way is who can ignore those distractions. The first distraction is your mom and dad telling you what to do, Lucas. So when you start driving, your mom's going to tell you what to do. And if you don't, Lucas, you don't listen. So you're going to go back home now. Mom! Or dad's going to say, you don't listen. Or he won't really talk to you. And he's not going to tell you what to do. So beginning drivers need to be told what to do. Beginning drivers misjudge space and distance. So Jules, that goes back to your question. Beginning drivers don't know what to do, so they have to be told. Beginning drivers don't judge speed and distance. Beginning drivers have information overload. You go to a downtown area, more people, more cars. So Lucas, everyone is distracted. Your parents are going to be telling you what to do. Your mom's going to be telling you what to do. Your older sister, brother's going to be telling you what to do. Your little sister, brother's going to say, Lucas, don't kill me. And then you're going to say to mom and dad, can you please stop? Because he or she is really freaking me out. So everyone's going to be telling you what to do. Alex. Alex.
What's the most like dangerous situation that you like encountered?
All of you driving for the first time, left turns, staring at the speedometer. It's the situation. All of you panic those first 2 or 3 drives. Alex, you're almost up to your third. You're going to be more comfortable. You're going to be looking ahead. Alex, because I forced you, what color's the traffic light? Green, red. You're going to be looking ahead. So you already are gaining knowledge in your brain about keeping space. So all of you, those first couple of drives with your instructor, you're going to be panicking, you're going to be nervous. Now, I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. I don't know what you did last night, don't care. But when you're in driving, I'm going to focus on you, your mental health, making sure you feel safe, making sure you feel comfortable. And I want you to feel safe. And if I think you're safe, I'll tell your parents. If I think you're risky and terrible, I'll tell your parents. I'm not going to lie to your parents and say, well, you know, your son and daughter did terrible, but they argue with me because my signature or the school's signature, we're liable for you. And some kids don't make it because they don't listen, they're too immature. Some of your parents will wait until you're 18 or 17 or wait, well, you're too young, you're too immature. So you getting into the car the first time, panicking, getting nervous. And it's not the instructor, it's you doing something that is so new, so overwhelming, and so dangerous. Jalen.
Am I asking another question?
Come on, Jalen. Yes.
Oh, uh, I put two in there, but you didn't answer the other one. But my first
Ask me now.
do the things that you need to focus on while you're like driving that you're kind of like stressed out about, do they start to become like muscle memory the more you drive?
I like what you said, brother. The answer is yes. Because you have to learn over time. You have to learn, excuse me, you have to learn how to kind of ignore mom and dad a little bit. They're always going to be chirping at you, talking to you. But once you understand they're trying to help you and they don't want you to die, you're going to listen to them. And if your mom and dad see you trust them, they're going to give you more. Hey, I have a friend. They have a warehouse. They need a person to help them afternoons, 5 to midnight. You're going to go over there. You're going to drive over there. And you're going to start working tomorrow. What? You're going to start working tomorrow. You're going to make $550 every 2 weeks. You can spend half of it, the other half we save. Okay. So it will become muscle memory over time, and you will gain knowledge. So you have to be patient enough to learn. And if you're not patient, you're going to have an accident. You're going to crash. You're going to learn the wrong way. Is it Trinity?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the most important lesson you've learned from teaching driving?
Being patient with students, having kid gloves on, being honest, having a good sense of humor. I'm like your chilled uncle. As soon as you drive, I'm like, let's go. But I do it in such a way to make you feel comfortable. You got to learn the rules. We talk about getting a job, growing up, taking that personal responsibility. And most students, 9 out of 10, do well. There's always 1% who are immature or don't listen, who have panic attacks because your mom and dad aren't in the car with us. And a lot of your parents have tracking devices. I've had parents follow us around. That's who you are. I had to go through a background check. So at the end of the day, it's just seeing you guys grow up, seeing you become comfortable, trusting you. And for some of you, this is your first experience. Okay? Teachers, coaches, state police officers, FBI officers, school bus drivers make really good instructors because we love people. We want to teach. People who are not educators struggle at becoming drivers ed instructors. They don't have patience for you. You come late. You look out the window when you should be paying attention. You're texting in the back and you should. So this is why the state required you to have 4 hours of observation to watch someone else. And most of you will pass your test. Some of you won't. So just setting that goal of seeing you become successful. And as I go through this journey and help people learn how to drive, most of you will be good drivers. Some of you won't because of fear and anxiety and accident. Maybe your mom or dads are overprotective or underprotective or reckless. It just really depends on your journey and what your goal is. Because at the end of the day, it's your parents. If your parents don't invest in you, you won't really learn how to drive. I'm going to do my job. And I'm very passionate about it. It's fun. I'm smiling right now because it's from my heart and I really enjoy it. And that gets me through when students are late or paperwork is a little bit late getting to you. I truly enjoy this. And if I didn't, I wouldn't do driver's ed. It's in Musa. Okay, nice gaming chair. I have one too like yours. You have the racer. I think mine is similar to that. Okay, what's your question? Come on.
My question was, for me, I have bad eyes, but I don't wear glasses. What's your advice for when I drive at night?
I got you, baby. So look, my man, you you got to talk to your eye doctor, right? You still young. Like your mom and dad, look, we all remember when you're like 10 years old, 8 years old, your mom and dad's like speaking for you, like, you know, you need glasses. So you and your doctor, he or she, just talk to them. Listen, when do you think I'm going to need glasses? Do you think I'm going to need eye surgery 10 years out, 12 years out? They may say, we don't know yet because your eyes are still developing. Technology is so good today. You got to go to your ophthalmologist. They're going to put you in the machine with the lenses, and they're going to find the right lens for you. You're going to have regular glasses, and you're going to have the ones that slip into your eye. You have to find what works for you. Okay, contact lenses. So you're going to have contact lenses. You got to get used to having a lens in your eye. Some people don't like that. Some people do. You have to get over the stigma of having glasses on. Some of your friends will tease you. And you're like, bro, I don't care. I can see better than you now. Okay? And you need to go visit your eye doctor every couple of years to make sure your eyes aren't really getting really bad. But eventually, you might have to have lens implant surgery. And we have the technology today. Go to a good eye doctor and read about it. Do your research on the internet. Type it in. Type in how old you are, what you have, and you're going to start seeing different case studies. And if your doctor is really on top of his or her game, I went to a conference in Hawaii last year, and you might be a candidate for this type of surgery. So you got to stay on top of your eye visits. You got to have an honest conversation with your doctor. You got to talk to your doctor one-on-one. It's like if you my nephew, I would say, bro, let's go see a doctor, man. This is my nephew. Nephew, talk to this doctor. Well, when do you think I'm going to need surgery? Well, I don't think yet, but maybe around year 7, based on where your eyes are now. And I think you're like, okay, uncle, thank you for taking me. I couldn't ask these questions around mom or dad. So you got to feel comfortable talking to your doctor, building that relationship, and do your own research. Go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar. Do some research. And I think you should be okay because we have different lenses now to help. That's a good question, my boy. Good question. Is it Caden or Caden?
It's Caden.
Okay, come on. Question.
All right. What's a good beginner's vehicle?
I like the Teslas. One of my students, his parents got him the base model Tesla. If you look at it, or a Ford Mach-E, or a Honda, or some of those mid-size SUVs, they are under $30,000. They're going to last you 10 plus years. We're talking about 100,000 miles. Those vehicles, easy on gas, low insurance, not too big, not too fast. Toyotas are very good brand names. Because we're in the Midwest, a lot of your parents may get an SUV. I think a Ram 1500 might be a little too big, drinks gas. A Ford F-150 is a good size vehicle, a little too big. So do some research yourself, find out what you like. Go to the North American Auto Show. Go get in those cars. Go post some videos. So a mid-size car, a 2020 and up, you know, a 2019, 18, 17s are okay. Most of your parents are going to give you the old crappy car. And because it's got 50,000 miles, if you have an accident, no big deal. The insurance is less. If you're driving a 2025, 23, 22, 21, your insurance is going to be much higher because it's a newer vehicle. So a mid-size vehicle will help, will get you. Is it Margaret or Marguerite? Please say your name. Can't hear you.
Munreet?
Munreet?
Yeah.
I like that name. Okay, what's your question? Come on.
What's your favorite car that you've driven?
Right now it's the Tesla. I want to drive a Bugatti. Um, I've been in Hellcat and Trackhawk, but my ultimate is probably going to be the Tesla. Probably won't ever get to drive a Bugatti because can't afford it, right? But probably the Tesla. I do want one of those, and I think maybe this coming summer, next time this year, I think that's something I want because I like technology. Um, the ranges will increase. I already have a 220 plug here in the basement. My dad was a former electrician, so this house already has a 220. So if you're going to have an electric vehicle, you're going to have charging at home. But there are going to be more chargers coming on line. Aaliyah, come on.
If I'm in a left lane and I want to like switch lanes, but there's too many cars like in a line right next to me in the lane that I want to turn in, can I go like 10 above the speed limit just to pass them?
The answer is, the reality is you're going to go above the speed limit. The answer is you want to keep space. If you get boxed in, you could miss your turn. The 0 to 1 to 3 driver will go too fast and miss their turn. The 3-year driver, 4-year driver will say, hey, I need to make a left turn. You won't get stuck. So your question is, you're going to get stuck. If you need to make a left, you're going to slow down. You're going to turn in your blinker early. You're going to gently get in the lane. You can't just put your car in the lane because you're going to cut off cars and trucks. So the question is, you'll learn when to make that decision. You'll learn when to improve, and it will come over time. And it's kind of like just being a chilled person, chill driver. And I think once you guys get out there and drive more heavy downtown traffic, night traffic, an hour drive, you're going to start learning to get over earlier, to use your blinker, to check your blind spot so you don't get hit or you don't hit anyone. So over time, it will blend in. But right now, you just want to drive, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to learn the right way. Every single day, you should be learning. I'm learning from you today. A lot of you have some real questions about driving situations. Your parents are going to be key factors. And if your parents don't really want to be involved with you, then you won't learn. Or maybe mom is really excited, but dad is not. Or your parents are like, come on, let's go and drive, but you're tired, or you got work, or you're not really motivated. That's going to prolong the driving process. So it just really takes time and your whole journey did I answer everyone's question? Did I miss someone? I was wondering what happens when the soup on the keyboard. So I got a new keyboard. I got a because you got to have good equipment, and that's what I've learned. So this is a Corsair K55 RGB Pro. So it's like your $50 gaming keyboard. It's not really loud. It's okay. If I was hardcore gaming, I would spend another $100 and get a high-end Corsair keyboard. So this is cool. It has lights. It's nice. It's quiet. What I've learned, I can't be eating soup down here. I can't be spilling everything on this because I got lazy. I slipped. I got caught. So my other keyboard I've had for 5 years. Very, 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 very good keyboard, but I'm gonna have to throw it in the trash because when I plug it in, the fluid has slipped under the membrane so I deleted, I lost 300 gigs of stuff on my computer, but I had it backed up. So, and I got a new mouse. I got a nice gaming, I got this too. I feel like it's a commercial. I got this MM350 Pro Corsair mouse pad. It's a really long mouse pad, really nice. So I feel good about the products. I like it. and it's a nice change. So if I'm going to be doing online classes, I want to have a nice keyboard, nice mouse pad, nice monitor, good equipment, so you can hear me and I can hear you. And I see a lot of you have gaming chairs, you got microphones, some of you are in social media, some of you are gaming, because that's what you should do. I'm a gamer too. I thought it was a nice session. Now I'm going to hit you with a couple quizzes, 5 or 10 questions. We're going to do like 3 quizzes in a row. So you're going to go to joinmyquiz.com. I got to switch screens, so go ahead and do that right now. Guys, this is a great session tonight. Look at my videos later. Look at them and leave comments. We will go live later. Bye.